Hello and welcome to the Grad Dialogue. My name is Jiten Shah. I'm the Director of the Grad Office. We're going to talk about something that is in the news recently, and I'm not talking about the closing of the federal government, the partial closing or so, but I'm talking about something that's really going to be exciting, for our 7 counties and for the years to come, and that is the I-69 project. You have seen the I-69 corridor when you go through Penadel Parkway, but now we're talking about the bridge, which is going to be a link, to make it a reality. So we have invited the principal engineer who's working on the project for the State Department of Transportation Cabinet to kind of talk about that and what we expect and when we expect. So I would like to introduce Marshall Carrier. Marshall,
yes, sir.
He's a PE. He works for the State Highway Engineer's Office for the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. He serves as a project manager for the I-69 Ohio River Crossing. Marshall is leading KYTC's efforts on the I-69 ORX study, Ohio River Crossing study, and working closely with the Indiana Department of Transportation, and both states are committed to completing the I-69 connection between Henderson, Kentucky and Indiana, Evansville, Indiana, and also is going to have benefits to all our counties along with the southern part of the Commonwealth as well. Marshall, welcome. I know we talked about this maybe a couple of years ago when there was just some discussion about the I-69. But now I think a lot of things happened since then. So, and I think the biggest thing that we are hearing in the last couple of days in Evansville and also in Henderson was the DEIS, the Draft Environmental Impact Statement. But tell us about why it's so important to do that, and also what are we as far as the I-69 project concerned?
Well, I appreciate your time today too. As far as what the DEIS is, that's born out of federal law, that federal law that was enacted January 1st, 1970 under Nixon. And what that did, essentially what that focused on was any major federal undertaking, such as the I-69 connection here between Henderson and Evansville. Certainly a very expensive project, and it will impact public, not only from a travel standpoint, but from a right-of-way and environmental standpoint. So when that particular project is identified, we go through the process of beginning what's called the Notice of Intent, which is putting the word out there that we're going to be starting this process with the federal authorities and review agencies as well as the public. And then we go through the process of developing what's called a draft environmental impact statement. And what that does essentially is coordinate and summarize all the impacts that we feel like we're going to encapsulate with the project of this caliber, with not only with the environment, but with the EJ community, the environmental justice community, low-income communities, as well as the physical impacts along the corridor. So once we do that, we develop this DEIS document, which is just published on December the 14th for the public to comment on officially. And then we have what we had Monday night as well as last night were 2 hearings where the public was allowed to stand up and give their comments. They can do it either orally or through pencil and paper via mail or on the website, and visiting the project office. They can fill out the cards there. We have an office both in Henderson and in Evansville.
So Marshall, the DEIS, the Draft Environmental Impact Statement, it is a standard requirement for any large federal projects.
Yes, sir.
And I would imagine that when the Natural Bridge was built, there was also DEIS done at that time too. So you look at not only the impact on the environment, in terms of maybe endangered species and all those kind of things. You mentioned that the social impact, maybe the business impact, everything that would have an impact, having that major project to be go further or so.
Yeah, and we're at an important milestone in getting to what's called the record decision, which is the federal document that will give us the ability to move forward from a funding and financial standpoint, and then constructability standpoint to bring this project to life. So this is just a stepping stone to get there. That's the end game, getting to that record decision, the final environmental impact statement. But along the way, we've incorporated a lot of comments from the public, from the residents, from the business owners along the US 41 corridor and beyond. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback, and we've incorporated a lot of that information into this document. So it's kind of reflective of a lot of the work that we've done since 2017.
And the document itself, you said it's already done, it's available, and I'm sure knowing that large mega project, it is not just tiny document. It's
Yeah,
probably large.
and we've discussed before. It's it's a tough read. It takes a little investment of time, which is good. That's fine. But it's a pretty substantial amount of information. Takes a little time to consume, but that's part of this process. And we're eager to get the public and the business owners to go through that information, as well as the review agencies. It allows them to officially comment on the document for the record. Is to go through that process as best as they can and have time to do, and provide us those comments and those feedback that we can incorporate into the final document.
And the public can access this document, I'm sure, on your website, but also can they also see a physical copy they can read?
Yes, sir. We have a hard copy in both offices, as well as copies around in a lot of the public libraries, and there's many locations in the area in the general vicinity of both Evansville and Henderson. Those locations are described in the website, www.I69OhioRiverCrossing.com.
But just for the audience, it is, you mentioned the board meeting today, that there are the public library, Henderson, Evansville,
Yes.
and offices and all.
Yeah. Yeah, we've made it available in many different locations physically. That way somebody can sit down and start to pour through that document if they want to. It's also available on USB flash drive. So they can take it, maybe download it to their computer and take it back home and have the time to really go through it.
You mentioned that recently there are two hearings, happened Henderson and Evansville. Can you tell us, what kind of response you guys received at the hearings? Sure. And also, what kind of, is there something, these days and time, with the social media and everything else, you see a big uproar about certain things. So can you kind of describe how the whole thing went, and was it worthwhile?
Yeah, overall, the public hearings went very well, especially comparative to some other large scale project that we've done in years past. The public has been very cordial in addressing a lot of comments with us and among us. There was a lot of support, obviously. Of keeping at the end of the day, what that document does is your goal is to get to what's called a preferred alternative.
I see.
In this particular case, there's a preferred alternative, but it's essentially two versions of the same physical alternative.
Okay.
Central Alternative 1A essentially tolls both the existing US 41 bridge, where our goal is to more than likely keep the northbound US 41 bridge and remove the southbound bridge, as well as toll the new crossing across the Ohio. Now, Central Alternate 1B would toll only the I-69 crossing. Now, what does that do from a financial standpoint? Obviously, that influences tolling capacity and the financial discussion for the project overall. So the public and the business owners and the agencies are very aware of that aspect. But at the end of the day, they would like, and we got a lot of positive feedback, but the comments generally were focused on essentially keeping both the twin US 41 bridges untolled. Now, what does that do financially for the project? It certainly adds to the financial discussion. It makes it a little bit more complicated, but it's something that we're certainly willing to discuss with the public and the leaders in the area administratively and with both
Marshall,
states.
I think this would be a good time to people who may not be from Henderson or Evansville watching the show,
Sure.
Or from at least from other counties as well. And I know that we are going to also show some slides, with that, with this presentation. But just for them to visualize, right now we have, like from Owensboro, for example, Audubon area, then connects to 41 going towards Evansville. We got twin bridges, and all this talk about the I-69 project is to have a new bridge on Ohio River connecting Evansville to Henderson and then to the Panhandle Parkway.
Correct.
The alternate that you're talking about, A and B, is that road connecting to the new proposed bridge location. Is that okay?
Correct. And we've had discussions on several corridors over the past couple of years. There's probably been at least 40 plus iterations of similar corridors along the US 41 corridor as it exists today. But we've been through the process of receiving comments from the public and talking with the leaders in the area, as well as both administrations on both sides of the Ohio, and we've settled on the preferred alternate that breaks away from 41 corridor and runs east. The total project length is about 11.2 miles, but it breaks away from US 41, crosses US 60, and then crosses the Ohio and ties into the existing I-69 corridor about a mile to the east of where currently US 41 and 69 tying together right now.
What's the benefits you would see that the WABI should have 1 or 2 lane, not even have all 41 bridge still in existence?
Well, obviously, from a average daily traffic standpoint, it's imperative that we go through the traffic modeling process to establish what's critical to have from a capacity standpoint to carry X amount of traffic in a given day. We've been through that process preliminarily, and we determined that we need 6 lanes. So right now, there's existing 4 lanes, 2 northbound and 2 southbound on the 41 corridor. Well, we need to add additional capacity. We can do that with the new bridge. There'll be 4 lanes on the new bridge, and then the other discussion is whether or not we keep one of the southbound bridge or not. So that would be 8 lanes total.
I see.
That's actually over capacity. What does that do? It leads to exacerbated O&M costs, operations and maintenance costs in the long-term financial period. So right now, from a capacity standpoint, we need 6 lanes, and that's what we're getting with the new bridge. 4 lanes over here, and existing 2 lanes over here in Henderson with the northbound option.
Well, that's excellent. Now, in a couple of minutes we have, so I want to bring it up to the point that, what is the time schedule, what is the total cost, and how this is going to be paid, because this is a by-state federal project. So,
yeah, well, you're talking right now. Preliminary cost estimates are about $1.5 billion, which is billion. So it's a very large number, especially in today's day and time.
Right.
When that type of project number is weighed against other needs and concerns across the state of Kentucky as well as Indiana, it's certainly a large topic of discussion. So where we were today versus where we were in '04. In '04, the same process was started, but it essentially did not get to that record decision because there was no funding mechanism identified. Right. And here in 2017, 2018, 2019, we've introduced the tolling discussion, and that introduces tolling capacity from both sides of the river. That being said, that tolling capacity only accounts for a small amount of that $1.5 billion price tag. So even if you tolled all vehicles, for example, on alternate 1A, you're looking at about a $750 million gap that has to be accounted for, either from typical state coffers or innovative project delivery methods using other grant opportunities. Now, alternate 1B leaves about a $1 billion hole that needs to be filled without tolling the other facility.
I see.
Again, 1A tolls both, and 1B only tolls the new structure. So that is the reality of where we are.
If you have the crystal ball to, since funding mechanism and the arrangements and the policies could work out, what do you think the timetable would be? How long would we see a construction or a bridge?
If funding were to be readily available by the time we get to that record decision later in 2019, we could go to construction, acquire the right of way, and work with the utility companies and go to construction as early as late 2021.
Wow.
That being said, through the construction phase, we could have it open to traffic as early as 2025, which is pretty quick.
Like
but again, it all comes down to funding.
People don't realize that. We all been talking about this for 20 years. We got to a new bridge on Ohio River and all those things, but it's been talking about 20 years. Now it could be reality in 2025.
Yeah, hopefully that's our goal.
Yeah. Marshall, thank you for being on the show.
Yes,
good luck to you. I know that you mentioned that the public comments can be accepted by all different ways, and there was a deadline. Was a deadline there for that?
Yes, sir. Okay. February the 8th is the deadline for public comments.
People can go on the website, which is, what is the website again?
I-69 OhioRiverCrossing.com.
And they can make comments on those, email you guys, or send an email and everything else. They can look at the documents, or just have any kind of comments that you really consider that before the final decision is made.
Yeah, and we'd love to have as many comments as we can.
And I think the reason we had you at the board meeting, and I will be very quickly, is that because this is not just the project in Henderson and Evansville. This affects our grad region and the whole Western Kentucky. And we are looking in terms of not only the traffic patterns, but the future economic development, the jobs in that whole corridor for I-69. And that would not be successful without having a bridge connecting to the north. So again, I want to thank you and the cabinet for thinking out and the future, and also helping us to really have a better quality of life for everybody here.
Thank you. We appreciate your time.
Sure. Again, thank you for watching the Grad Dialogue. We've been talking to Marshall Carrier. I'm a PE engineer for the Ohio River Crossing Bridge Project. And if you have any questions or comments, please contact me, or also go on the website, for the Ohio River Crossing, and then also make comments as well there as well. Again, thank you and have a great day. Hello and welcome to the Grad Dialogue. My name is Jiten Shah. I'm the Executive Director of the Grad Office. The new year brings a new leadership, and I'm talking about the Chairman of the Grad Board. And I have my guest today is Judge Executive David Johnston, who is Ohio County Judge Executive, and also the new Chairman for the Grad Board. So Judge, welcome on the Grad Dialogue.
Good to be here.
And also
Stan.
congratulate you on a great meeting we had today. We had the newly elected officials orientation about Grad.
Yes.
You did an excellent job, along with the regular board meeting too.
Yes.
So for those of you who may not know, even though this is also in television, Davis County, Judge and I think we've known each other, 30 some years or so.
Yes.
But Judge was elected as a Judge Executive of Ohio County in 2010. Prior to that has been serving as a Parks Department Director, along with some other positions. So Judge, welcome. And just kind of starting out, so what do you, you've been with Grad off and on different projects.
Yes.
And working with us for a long time. You've been on executive committee.
Yes.
for since you became judge too.
Yes,
So it's
yes.
been a while too. So how does it feel as a chairman?
Well, I enjoy it, and of course it was sort of a long-term goal. Been associated with Grad since 1982.
Wow. Yeah.
Ultimately you shoot for the top spot.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I know that. I think we used to joke about all those things. Now you told me actually after the election, the last
Yes.
round of election here, that when I started with Grad, all my judge executives, all 7 of them were Democrats.
Yes.
And now all 7 are Republican.
Yes, yes. And in the term I've been there, when I came in, we had 2 Republicans and 5 Democrats. And in 2014, all 7 judge executives of the Grad District were reelected. It's the first time that ever happened.
Oh, okay.
And but that still left it 5-2.
Yeah.
Well, in that time, very, very unfortunately, we had 2 of our judges died.
Yes.
And they were both replaced by Governor Bevin with Republicans. And then the Webster County Judge Executive resigned to run for state representative.
Right.
And again, Governor Bevin replaced him with the Republican. So that brought it to, that just changed the dynamics from 5-2 to 5.
Yeah.
And then we, after the 2018 elections, we end up with 100% of Republicans for the first time in the history of Grad. Not that that's really significant, but just tells you a lot of the changes we've been through.
Yeah, but over the time, you have said it yourself,
Yes.
when people come to the Grad Board meeting, the party line doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't
You guys
matter
work
at all
so
how
great
you serve the
together
people.
as a unit.
It does. In local government, doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. So, one of the goals that you told me that when you became chairman was that, what can we do to get the word out about Grad? Even
Yes.
though as much as we do, with the technology and social media and everything else, people in the smaller communities and people, at other locations too, they still need to know what Grad can do. So how do you compare that to what happened this morning with the elected officials and orientation and all those kind of things?
I think that actually was a start. I think that we did stir them up, and I believe they are more appreciative of Grad than they've ever been because they understand things. And as they participate and put the word out, and it will be, we'll get the word out more and more all the time. I do foresee, it's hard to say what kind of publicity campaign works.
Right.
But I think probably we'll be looking at something like that.
Now I know that the challenges we face with some uncertainty with the pension at the state level,
Yes.
along with some of the social issues of the bills and everything else, and also this unfortunate standoff in Washington as far as the
Yes.
Federal government. So I mean, how do you tell your citizens of the region, to kind of comfort them with all these things going on?
Well, I see it as it all coming together. The first I'll address the pension deal. It was just totally unsustainable. And I believe that once a promise is made, it should be kept.
Right.
And I think the state's signature is all over it.
Right.
So I think that state government ultimately will have to come up with the way of paying for it. and there's not one thing that's going to do it. You know, the limiting some of the benefits for the new hires is one, and that would only be a small portion of it. And of course, already increased the portion that the county pay.
Right.
That's significantly. I mean, to a point it's somewhat of a burden. We thought it had to be. That's part of it. And then ultimately, the state will have to designate some sort of new revenue stream for it.
Now, with the session being going on and everything else, how does GRAD, communicate with the legislators, and how the board members communicate with it, and then what does GRAD, reach out to the public, to talk about the upcoming bills, or even have the opportunity to talk to senators or the House members or so?
We put the word out that what's important, and hope that all of our GRAD board members, and we'll put out the word, and we'll contact our legislators. And I know all the county judge executives do regularly, and we get a lot of our information from GRAD, and legislators contact us all the time, nearly daily.
And we have there's some new legislators in the GRAD,
Yes.
along with some return and maybe change the positions.
Yes. Of course, our state representative now for Ohio County, Scott Lewis.
Yes. Yeah.
And I went up yesterday to where he was sworn in, and his first day in legislature, as well as our Senator C.B. Embry, who is representing Ohio County. We went up and we encouraged him, and of course, Matt Caslin was our state representative, and now he's a senator. He's not in our district, but we still have a real close working relationship with him anyway. So we went and visited all of them three yesterday.
Yeah, and I know, Judge, not only being in the same party, but also being with the friendship you had over the years. You have a good connection, with the administration office in Frankfurt, the governor's office, and everything else. So I think that is a kind of plus as far as trying to get the in way to get some answers or some of the assistance we may need for the communities, for the 7 counties.
Yes, and we'll definitely use that too.
Yeah. Now let's kind of put the attention back to your county.
Yes.
I know some people may not know what's happening in Ohio County, and what we look forward to. I know there is a now new Bluegrass Museum in Owensboro, and how you guys connect and all those things. Would you like to comment on those?
Well, it's got to be beneficial, because people coming to that International Bluegrass Museum will hopefully come to Ohio County and see the real one.
Real one.
we have the real Bill Monroe Museum there, and of course Bill Monroe is ours, and is our #1 draw for tourism. Not our only draw, but it's our #1. Right. And we have brought back our Bill Monroe Bluegrass Festival up at his home place where he was raised, where he grew up. We've got that going again. And there's a lot of things going in our county for tourism. But as far as an economic development, we've got a lot of things going there too. We at one time were considered a coal county, and we're very, very proud of our coal production.
Right.
But we no longer have all of our eggs in the coal basket.
Right.
We're very diversified. We have the processing plant there. We have our industrial park, our business center is a proper term nowadays. We have it at Bluegrass Crossings. We're very proud of that, and they have a lot of development going there. So and the expansion of our in our wood industries too. We have National Office Furniture, and we have young manufacturing, and all of these wood and Dunaway timber. We have all of these, and they've all expanded.
Expanded, yeah. Well, I think it's great. I think it's also looking forward to having that kind of existing industries, and don't forget your very successful the industry park.
Yes.
The large and multi-county industry park.
Yes.
The Ohio County gets a pretty much advantage there as well.
Yes.
Now, as a chairman, of the GRAD board, I know you've been involved with us, but as a chairman, all of a sudden, it's like coming from magistrate to the judge, now judge to the chairman,
Yes.
You had to a bigger shoulder and everything else. So, can maybe, the limited time that I have, tell us about what are your vision or the dream about GRAD, and how we could do what we're supposed to be doing, for the citizens and all that.
Yes, I think the grad staff has done a good job all along. I think we as a board will step up and do more as far as the publicity goes, and more encouraging, and be as supportive as possible of the staff on getting and also to go to our communities and see that our community, each individual community is aware of grad and what's available, and seek out. And we'll see that our county and city staffs become acquainted with the grad staff,
Right.
and how they can work together.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about how we can not say anything's wrong now, but with the encouragement, maybe we can just pick it up some more.
Right. And I think, and going back to your Ohio County, you are in a great position, where you get advantage of being that close to the national park, which
Yes.
would turn into hopefully maybe a
165 by June the 30th of this year, it will be an interstate.
See, so again, that would open up new markets. So that's going to bring you more responsibility to how we as a region
Yes.
take advantage of that economic development potential. Because of 165, you got the Ford Star Industrial Park. That is also, the Bluegrass Industrial Park has a pretty much advantage too. And that's something that you have that some of the counties do not have. You got a very active, vibrant cities.
Yes, we do. We have 6 of them actually.
6 of them, yeah.
6 cities.
Yeah. And especially the amphitheater, has
Yes.
been getting a lot of
In Beaver Dam.
publicity, and in Beaver Dam as well, and everything
Yes.
else.
Yeah, that's a big asset to us tourism wise. And the biggest thing we're needing that way now is to attract some more hotels into the county. We're somewhat limited on that, but I'd say that's our biggest limitation as far as tourism goes.
Right.
Economic development, we're really trying to work hard on our workforce development, which is going to help us there.
Right. Judge, I want to thank you for being on the show. And I
Good to
would
be
have to
here.
say one thing I loved about you since 80s or so, because we worked together at that time, that you always tell what is on your mind. You always tell the truth. And I think you have the love for the community and for the region. So I'm so proud to have you as our chairman, and looking forward to working with you.
Thank you, Jiten.
Thank you. Again, we're talking to Judge David Johnston. He's the newest grad chairman, beginning January 1 of this year. And we're talking about what is his vision for the grad, and also how people in all 7 counties can take advantage of grads and what grad had to offer. We are proud to have a judge and all the members of the executive body to lead the grad in the next year or so. Thank you. And if you have a question, you can always contact me at the grad office. Visit the grad social media, and have a great day.